this computer. Welcome, everybody, to our Tuesday transformational call, Transformation Tuesday call. It's always weird in June to say that half the year has already gone by. Doesn't it just blow all of your mind? Like, where does time go and what happens and all the things? So, anyway, welcome to this call. I'm excited for the call because our fearless Kirsten Evensen, who has been the charge of this call, getting speakers and interviewing and making sure it all goes right. She's going to be our presenter tonight, and she's going to get to the heart of the matter. And I just want to tell you a little bit first about Kirsten. She's a yogi. She's a world traveler wife. She's a cat mom, and she's definitely a lover of life. If you've ever met her, you know she's got big heart. She loves being in beautiful natural places of the planet, whether it's on her bike or hiking, or open water swimming, or alpine lakes. She loves to dance. How many of you have danced with her before? I certainly have. She loves to laugh. She loves to spend time with family and friends, and her core value is about creating fun in all that she does. Her passion is to support others in finding optimal health and well-being so that they can also live joyful lives. She's a senior sales coordinator and been with the Juice Plus company since 2017, and she's a newly retired. Next Tuesday, I think, is her last day. Newly retired occupational therapist after a 41-year career. Whew. And with that said, she's a newly certified yoga and wild core movement instructor. We need to hear more about what the wild core movement is about, Kirsten. So I'm going to pull you up. And I just want to just say personally, Kirsten, you are always number one for me, an inspiration. You're somebody who's really safe to talk to and be totally vulnerable and authentic with. And the world isn't always like that. And sometimes we have to protect ourselves. And I never feel like that with you. And I think you just offer such a container of love that I'm excited for this call tonight. So I'm going to turn this over to you.
Wow, Nikki, thank you so much. That's, yeah, it's always humbling to start a call like this on the verge of tears. So I am really, really breathing deep and just soaking in that reflection. I appreciate it so much. So that was a beautiful introduction. And as Nikki said, I am a newly certified yoga instructor. And so I've been able to dive in quite a bit in my training into just the wisdom of anyone I can find, which is kind of what I do with Transformational Tuesday as well. So over the years, Nikki has been such a source of personal inspiration, but also helping me just bring my lens really wide into mentors like Brandon Barber and Pema Chodron, who I'm going to talk about tonight, and Brene Brown, and so many others. And it's just been incredible to feel like I have a line to all this beautiful wisdom because let's face it, like we do need help. We need help in our lives. We need help in this business, and we need each other. And I just felt like as I was preparing a similar, pardon me, I've had this scratchy throat for a little bit, but yeah, as I was preparing this for my yoga group, I just couldn't help but keep translating this to the hard things that we come up against in our Juice Plus business. And of course, they live inside of us, right? It's not that anything is external. We have triggers, we have hard places that we push up against in life. And those can then translate into blocks in our business. So I heard a podcast where Pema Chodron was being interviewed. So this is not word for word, it's just my interpretation. And I'd love to read this first and just have you all really broaden what you're hearing in terms of what I say and see
And
if you
Kirsten,
can.
can you tell people who don't know who Pema Chodron is? Because there's probably people on the call who have never heard of her.
Absolutely. Yeah, Pema Chodron is an amazing, I want to get it right because I do follow a couple of Buddhist lamas. She is not a Buddhist lama, but she is an ordained Tibetan Buddhist nun. And I don't know how many books she has read, but she I mean, she's written, but I've heard her speak, and she's traveled the world. She now lives in a monastery in Vermont, I believe, and she's 96 years old. So her wisdom is just vast. And when I saw this interview, she's just as sparky and sharp as she's always been. So that's all what I know about her in terms of in terms of her credentials, I guess. So the question to Pema Chodron in this interview was, how do we find the ground in the groundlessness of the times we are living in? She says we need to grow our capacity with queasiness, anxiety, fear, and uncomfortableness with the times we are living in. Instead of trying to find something to hang on to, we must become much more at home with free fall. And I'm gonna I'm gonna riff a little bit here and go off script and just say that isn't queasiness, anxiety, fear, and uncomfortableness just something that by doing our Juice Plus businesses, we have the privilege of encountering pretty often, actually, because we always push up against those places of, oh gosh, I don't want to call that customer that's unhappy, or oh, should I do the follow-up? So this was really the part that I felt like was so relatable to us as Juice Plus entrepreneurs. So Pema goes on to say she uses the example of Alice in Wonderland, free falling down the rabbit hole, not trying to grab onto anything, just falling and waiting to see where she's going to land. Many of us shy away from these feelings, and as a result, our ability to live in free fall or uncertainty diminishes. The way to become more at ease in a shifting, changing world is to make friends with the feelings that come along with nothing to hold on to. And I would say in our businesses, again, off script, in our businesses, I believe the nothing to hold on to, as I have experienced it, is the letting go of the outcome. Right? We do the right action, and then we just let go of outcome. We do what we do, and then we let go of expectations. So to me, that's what free fall means in our businesses, is that we feel the feelings, we feel the queasiness, we do it anyway, and then we just let go, and we let the outcome go into free fall. So Pema Chodron goes on to say, pardon me, that as your capacity grows for befriending queasiness, fewer things will evoke feelings of panic or anxiety. Pema reminds us to keep using these feelings to remind us to stay open and receptive. We need to embody the experience and identify where this feeling lives in our bodies. Learn to welcome it to the point where you respond rather than react. And I love that, being proactive, knowing that the feelings are going to come and we have our strategies to deal with it. And this I especially love. Pema is just such a compassionate, beautiful, huge-hearted person. But she says what we need to learn is how to bring warmth, tenderness, reassurance, and surrender to that place in our bodies until we feel completely at home in our bodies and in this beautiful world. So again, while she's speaking to navigating the stressors of a larger world, which we also have to do, we have world politics, we have climate things going on, we have family, we live in a stressful world right now. So it's not a far stretch to apply these to how we navigate within our Juice Plus businesses. So I think that most of us, I'm just wondering if I could have a show of hands um, for those of you who actually know where stress, anxiety, resistance lives in your own body. Because based on, yeah, Nikki, I figured that you would because you've done a lot of this work. Yep, thank you. Yep, I'm seeing hands up. For me, I'll just give an example if anybody's kind of questioning how to find where it lives in your body. To me, it's just an immediate stomach ache. It's an immediate stomach ache when I'm feeling nervous about something or, resisting something or whatnot. I know another common area is tension in the shoulders and in the jaws, clenching jaws. So those are two places I know that I hear a lot of people get triggered. So as I'm going to lead you in a little breathing exercise. For any of you who have been on my trainings before, you know I love to work with breath work, and mostly because it's always available to us, where we are always breathing. So by bringing a little conscious intention to our breath, we can actually learn to bring that warmth, tenderness, reassurance to those places in our bodies before we do hard things, before maybe we throw that next sourdough party, Beth. I know you do that a lot. Before I pick up the phone, and for me, it's dealing with people who are unhappy because I really resist conflict. So if I have a customer that's complained, I got an auto ship and I didn't know what was coming. Like we've all had those things, right? It's what I'm hoping is to just go through a little exercise tonight that can help us lean into that place rather than resist it. Lean in, take a deep breath, befriend it, love it up in whatever ways that we find to do. Take that deep breath and pick up the phone anyway. Send that invitation or do that follow up when the person we think a person has ghosted us. So I'm just wondering if anyone else would like to share where. So I shared that I feel it in my gut. So I have a very strong gut that tells me when I'm resisting. Just wondering if anyone else would like to unmute and
And
share.
and if you
Yeah.
don't want to unmute for whatever reason, you can also put it in the chat. I put it in the chat.
Yes. Oh,
I
okay.
It's
Great.
always immediately in my solar plexus. Boom.
Ah,
I totally
yeah.
feel it there. And then it can kind of move up my chest slightly toward my throat. I can feel it in that space.
Yeah. Yeah.
Totally.
Really common. And I can't read the comments right now, so I'm not seeing if anyone else has put.
Nobody commented, but maybe somebody
Okay.
share or
Yeah. Yeah, no worries. So we can just move on. So as I'm guiding you through this breathing exercise, if you're really not sure where these places of resistance are in your body, I'll just have you do the breathing exercise um, a little bit like a detective. Okay, so that the breath that we are going to breathe in is going to just have really keen eyes, and it can travel through your body to really find, like, well, where is my resistance place? And if by the end of this call you haven't identified, don't worry about it, because I do believe that we all have very strong senses about our body's wisdom. And the more we focus on with the next time something stressful comes up, you'll find it. You'll find it.
Beth also did just responded and she said
Okay.
inner chest.
In
So
your chest. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I think really common places, solar plexus, chest, jaw. And I know, there are other places that can feel it. For example, when I am in a yoga class, and I don't know how many of you do yoga here, but there is a final rest at the end called Shavasana, which is called corpse pose. And I have a lovely instructor that instructs me in a way that helps me tune into places I'm holding that I don't even realize, and one area that I realize I hold a lot is in my fists. So, I've just gone through a whole hour-long yoga class, and here I am at the end, supposedly relaxed, and I'm still clenching my fists when I'm in Shavasana. So it's not limited to that one place. But yeah, so I'm just going to invite you to get comfy, and we'll just do a little exercise and see if we can just breathe into this place if we've identified it, or find it if we haven't identified it. So just invite you to close your eyes and take a really, really deep breath from, if you're sitting, just see if you can imagine that breath coming through the soles of your feet, all the way up your legs and into your body, into the main part of your torso. And just take a few deep breaths here, just envisioning, if you can, the breath coming up, supporting you, and grounding you. So if you're still looking for that place of tension, just let your breath be like a really gentle seeker. Just with every breath, just bring your breath a little bit higher. You'll start maybe down in your pelvic bowl, bring it up into your belly area on your next breath, into your solar plexus on the next breath, into your heart and throat area on your next breath. And on your last breath in, make it really, really deep, the deepest breath you've breathed all day long. Breathe it up. And imagine it just coming out the crown of your head like a golden light coming up through your crown and surrounding you with warmth, with safety, with love, with comfort. So maybe if you're one of those that hasn't identified the tense spot, maybe one of those breaths, as I was guiding you through the different parts of your body, maybe one of the breaths felt a little harder to breathe deeply. Maybe you felt a little more tension. Maybe there was some sensation that let you know that, maybe that's my spot. And so if you even have a clue of where your spot is, I'm going to just invite you on your next breath to breathe right into that spot, into that place that you may resist, place that you may procrastinate, place that you feel tension, stress, and especially the place that might stop you from taking right action. So just bring your breath right up to that place. And for myself and for Nikki, it sounds like that's going to be right in our solar plexus. So with that breath in, I have a few different images that I've used. The first one I really, really love is just imagining that your breath is like a warm wind. And it's coming right up to that place of resistance that's maybe like a cube of butter that's come out of the refrigerator. And with each warm breath, that butter just begins to soften. It begins to melt. You're not doing anything quickly. You're just allowing that breath to be a really nurturing and warming force that can help that cube of butter just melt. And with it melts your resistance. With that melting, you may find surrender. You may have a sense of peace. And that's what Pema Chodron talks about, the leaning in, the befriending, the becoming comfortable with your places of discomfort. Another image that I really love, and images work differently for everyone. So you may have one that you've used that is tried and true for you, but another one I really love in the context of Pema Chodron talking about befriending and befriending this area with tenderness, reassurance, and surrender is bringing your breath up and imagining that you're scooping up an infant or a puppy or a kitten. And in your mind's eye, just swaddle, rock, comfort, and treat that place with tenderness like you would any vulnerable creature. Because these places in our bodies are places of vulnerability. So with that breath, with the next breath, see if that image resonates for you. Just using your breath to bring an image to your place of tension, swaddling, comforting, bringing peace and tenderness to that area until maybe the baby falls asleep. Maybe that place of tension just really lets go and relaxes. I'm going to have you really gently on the next breath, just wiggle your fingers and your toes. Take a nice breath in and really gently let your eyes come back open. And see if you can feel a difference. That's a sense that in in my therapy and yoga world is called interoception. It's becoming more tuned in to the internal landscape of your body, your internal feelings, and letting those feelings really guide and nurture you. So just pay attention if through that little bit of breathing, if you notice any difference in your tight area. I'm not saying that you started in a tight, resistive place, but often breath work can just be so miraculous in helping us relax even further, even when we didn't realize we needed to. So, 3 deep breaths physiologically are proven to change a whole lot of things in our bodies. They flood our breathing floods our brains with endorphins. It helps, all sorts of neural pathways open up. And I just invite us as a community, to just use 3 deep breaths into even if you haven't identified your place of resistance, just 3 deep breaths before you do the next hard thing, before you say yes to the next thing that maybe you've been resisting, or you don't know if you should say yes to, or the next phone call that is hard. Um, just use breathing and see how it might support you moving forward. So this is a life skill that I have been honing for, my 63 years on the planet. Most of us don't get taught at a young age how to breathe. And in my work with children, which I am retiring from in a week, I do a whole lot of breath work with my kiddos. And I just feel like if there's one thing that I can share to help us move forward and keep ourselves regulated and calm and feeling joyful, then that's what I'm going to share. So I'm so excited that I was inspired by Penma Chodron, who actually, Nikki, I think you had us read that book, doing hard things, or you actually took a picture of the book. I believe we did a book club or
I don't think
something.
we've done a book club on it, but I think it was gifted to me, and I can't remember the actual title right now, but it's How to Get Through Hard Things or
Thank you.
something
Yeah,
like that. But
it's
it was
beautiful.
gifted me,
Yeah,
and I've known about Pema a long time, and so having that book was really beautiful.
yeah,
How to
yeah.
Get Through Hard Things.
This is just like a little teeny thumbnail of her wisdom too, kind of with, yogi breath mixed in. So, if you're needing some support, if you're needing any inspiration, she's just an amazing resource, as is this community. And I just so appreciate all of you being on the call tonight. And don't know, Nikki, if you have any questions or comments before we sign
No,
off.
I like it. Does anybody have any? Look, Beth, you looks like you've got a question.
Seems to take me forever to find mute and all that stuff. Anyway, thank you for that, Kirsten. I just always love hearing you. And I was so determined to be on this call tonight. So
Oh,
I'm glad that I got to catch you. And I wrote down, I have my little to-do list. I have a little notebook. And I wrote at the very top of it, take 3 deep breaths before any hard decisions. And that's funny you said that about sourdough. I actually have one on Sunday morning,
Uh,
but I don't feel stressed about them anymore. It's a little less. I mean, I probably will that morning. I'll be flying around, but these are really good. It's a really good just thing to be thinking of. And I did feel like that whole comfort thing you talked about, like swaddling.
mm.
Of course, I just found my daughter's swaddle blanket that I used for her
Oh,
23 years ago. And I was like, oh, like I'm never getting rid of that. So that all was just like perfect bow tie right there. But yeah, I just could feel that relaxing in my chest. It's like my whole rib cage is where I feel it, like not just my chest.
yeah.
Um, so
yeah.
it's very much more relaxed right now than it was before I started the call. So thank you.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Beth, I'm so happy to hear that. And Just as I guess to tie a bow on this call too, I think the blessing of this business is we get to do hard things. We get to do
Hmm.
hard things. I mean, we are in this because we have made a choice to hone our ability to step into and lean into those places that Pema tells us about, right? And I think it's what keeps us vibrant, it keeps us alive. And Beth, I just have to say, I have such admiration for the number of events you do and how consistent you've been. And that's been an area that's been really challenging for me in the
Mm.
past. So I think we can all inspire each other,
Yeah.
and thank you for the feedback. I'm glad you felt it. And 3 deep breaths, you have it. We have
Hmm.
lungs, we have nostrils,
I
and we
want
have memories to
yeah,
remember what to do when we need it.
Yeah. I
I
think oh, go ahead, Nikki.
no, you go, Beth.
I was just gonna say, I think this is always a good thing because we as humans don't breathe. Like we just get enough breath to just survive. And this
Yeah.
is always a good thing to just for every day to do this. So thank you again.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you, Beth.
What I was going to
Yeah.
say is that I got the app for heart math. I don't know how familiar you are with that, any of you, Kirsten, you too, but it's just amazing because there's always a little lesson about what breathing does and what it does to your body. And the three things is that it creates a coherence between your heart, your brain, and your nervous system.
Mm,
And so just a few minutes a day of breathing, just paying attention to your in and out, they have you imagine the breath coming in and out of your heart. That's the
I
heart
love
coherence.
that.
That's, and so you're really doing it and you're just breathing in and breathing out, breathing in and breathing out, and just paying attention to the breath. And that's all you're doing, whether it's for 1 minute or 5 minutes. But then there's always a little lesson that they put with it. And a lot of times what they'll do is there's different kinds of heart coherence, what they give it names, but basically it's to picture something that's difficult for you. Could be lifting up the
Ah,
phone, could be doing an event. It could be getting on more calls. It could be inviting to calls. It could be understanding our app, whatever it is. Picture something that is frustrating or annoying or that you're nervous or afraid about. Picture it. And you watch, by the way, on the app, you actually watch your heart coherence. It gives a score. You see it go down. You're thinking it, you see it go down. And then it says, okay, imagine that something really beautiful and wonderful, whether it's appreciation of a puppy or whether it's compassion for a person or whether it's just ease and joy and peace. And then you see it on your thing. You just see your coherence go up. And so you can imagine your nervous system, your brain, and your heart, which affects your cognitive ability. It affects your muscles. It affects your hormones. They list what this coherence does to your body. And so it's just a practice every day. And because you see when you do better, you can start to monitor without using the app. You can feel, oh, my body's in coherence right now. I'm going to see if I can stick with it a little bit longer. So it's a really cool, costs $79 a year to get the app. It's super
wow.
cheap. And you can actually, I bought the device. You don't need the device to go with it. You can put your finger on your camera of your phone and then when you're in the heart math section, and there's all these learning things and measuring things, and it's really super interesting and super cheap. So if anybody's
Wow.
interested in trying to, and you get 1 week free, so you can experience it for a week. So anyway, heart
Awesome.
math.
Is it heart math like MATH,
Yep,
Nikki?
yep,
Okay, I'm
yep.
writing it down.
Yeah, and I heard about it, I don't know, I'm going to say 5 to years ago or longer. And I never really understood. I just knew it was something that had to do with your body's regulation and your nervous regulation. And I never really understood it. And I got this app and it's so well, the app is so easy to use. They have all the learning sections. Or if you don't want to learn, you just want to be in coherence and do anything you want, there's unguided meditations. You can pick 3 minutes, you can pick 5 minutes. It's very user friendly. So for
I
anybody that's
love
more
it.
interested in that, it's pretty amazing. I'm loving it.
Thank you. Well, that's great because it gives an action step too if anybody wants to take it any further. I had not heard of that, and
Oh,
I know you guys that know me know that I love when science backs up all this, ancient yogic wisdom, and
yeah,
when
yeah,
we've got science that I mean, just like our Juice Plus products, right? It's just,
they-
yeah, I
They
get
measure,
you.
your cognitive behavior. They measure all of this stuff after you've worked with this heart coherence app for a while. It's just cool.
Wow.
So I'm
Cool.
done. But thank you so much for tonight,
Oh,
Kirsten. I hope that a lot of people also listen to the recording and will practice their three deep breaths during the day. And if you have more time, spend a minute just paying attention to your in and out breath. If your mind wanders, it doesn't matter. You just come back to your breath for a minute and try to make it smooth and even. Imagine this rolling hills that your heart is going in and out with your breath. It's very cool. So thank you. Thank you.
thank you.
All right.
Have a
Everybody
good
have
night,
a
everybody.
great
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Kirsten.
everybody. Love you all.
Good night.
Good night.